But once again, thank you so much for doing this interview. I really I'll just kind of go over again what the two podcasts are, and then I'll after we say what we have to say, and I'm making the video, I'll figure out if this is appropriate for 3.5 or hypnosis. But I'm feeling like it's appropriate for 3.5. 3.5 is once again is based on a study that with a nonviolent revolution, it only takes 3.5% of a population that's both organized and disciplined to overthrow a totalitarian structure. And that number is chosen because 3.5% it sounds like a small number. Usually people think that you need everybody on board. You need, you know, most people even, that's actually doing the action to be able to make change, but it really starts from something much smaller. So that's the idea. And that's why your concept, your project sounds so awesome. So, oh, and hypnosis is about emotional intelligence, I like to pretty much say. So while 3.5 is focused on, okay, what is our political foundation? What is our reality, I should say? What is the material reality that we're dealing with? What is foreign policy? What is domestic policy? How is that affecting the world materially? Hypnosis is how do we respect one another? What can we learn from history, from our ancestors, that tell us, that give us clues as to how we can behave within ourselves and with one another in our relation to the universe. So those are the two podcasts. Um, Now, yeah, I think I want to start with you kind of talking a little bit about what your project is, who you are, of course, who you are, what your project is, and what your inspirations were.
Okay. So my full name is Lawrence Clinkscale III. When I was growing up, my mom always made me say the third because there were three of us. So that's my full name. I'm originally from Northeast Ohio in Youngstown. And the project that we're here to talk about primarily is Proppz. Proppz is an acronym that stands for Promoting Positive People. And it's going to be a social platform that will shift American culture from surviving individually to thriving collectively. So it's really about community development, which is pretty much everything I'm about. I think it was about 10 years ago now that I wrote a personal mission statement, which is to empower my community by organizing, educating, and motivating each community member to make their own individual contributions to collective efforts. So that's pretty much a lot of the work that I've been doing as far even like my daytime job, which is children's librarian. It's all about like just helping people to help themselves, and then some community development work I've been doing from time to time. That those things kind of shift and move around, and then this big project that I have that's kind of a professional project. So
That last part, like that last sentence, cut off for some reason.
I said that it's community. So basically, that mission statement is what I've been working on, just in every aspect of my life, just to help people help themselves. So whether it's the daytime job as a children's librarian, or the me helping out a friend with with their business, some helping out other people with any way I can contribute, and then Proppz, like the business model is that.
Got you. Okay, that's awesome, awesome. So, it is a project that is aiming to increase community, really collective spirit, it sounds. And it sounds like you were concerned about it, the feeling that we're not really, as society, we're not really behaving like a collective. It's much more individualistic. Can you speak more on that? I guess the problem that you're trying to solve with this.
Yeah, I think some of that background just started with someone asked me recently like what gives you life, like what makes you feel alive, and my answer to that was like just helping people, and seeing like their aha moments and seeing them come to like a solution with something that they were dealing with. So that really makes me feel alive, which is why like some of my a lot of my work is in uh, public service. So that's a big part of it. And I've had a lot of success as an individual in my careers, in different aspects with like with fulfilling that part of like helping people and helping people help themselves. But I've when I was younger, like I always wanted to have a bigger impact, and I knew I was going to have a bigger impact. And then the question was like, all right, this is a whole vibe, like helping people help themselves, and like environments and communities I've been in, they've been really like transformative for people, very helpful, to helping them improve their own lives. And then the question that I ask myself is like, how do we expand this? Like, how do we get more people to like jump in with helping other people, and then it being a whole community collective where it's just like, everybody's kind of doing some part or making a contribution.
Mm-hmm.
um, so, I mean, that was the background. I also went through rites of passage training with mentors I had when I was back in Ohio. There's some brothers from the House of the Lord, a church that I attended. But one of the rites that we taught was the what is it? The social rite of passage. So the quote was the community you come from should not suffer because of your presence, but should rather be placed at a distinct advantage simply because you are here.
Mm.
So the idea is like what I understand in my experience is like, anywhere you go to, there you when you add an element to anything, like this is a pretty much a scientific method. It doesn't neutralize, like it adds some kind of weight. So it's either like you improve the environment, or you take away from the environment with your presence.
Mm.
So anywhere I go, like I try to like make whatever I'm a part of better by my presence because I'm there. If that's not the case, then I don't need to be there. So it's like I learned that from my mentors, and then I ended up teaching rites of passage, and teaching that to other young men, young boys, and then just people in general. So that's the way I operate. But I think if the idea is like if everyone kind of took that idea and that challenge to like, yo, if anything I'm involved with, it's gonna be better because I'm there, then that would improve a lot, like everywhere. So it's like trying to do that, and then you know making it relevant to today's society. So that's what Proppz is doing, basically.
That's awesome. I love that concept of making sure looking at yourself as an added element to society. And like you were saying, it's not neutral, your addition. It's are you helping, are you hurting? Okay, I have a question because usually when I discuss community development with people and the idea of like a sharing economy or, pretty much just an economy of people helping one another, not because, oh, you're going to owe me something or, I'm trying to get one over on you, but genuinely an economy of I need help. Oh, you need help? I'm willing to help you. Okay, in that type of spirit. When I talk to people about how that is possible, usually the response is, I doubt there is too utopian. Like people aren't like that. There's too many bad people. Like people, it's not enough people wanting to help people like that, or it's just this very negative view on society that it's not possible to have a society where it's predicated on helping one another. I guess what would you say to someone like that?
Well, I think what I've learned over my career is that there are different levels, like um, and different groupings of people as far as their contribution. So there are some people, um, like myself, for instance, I look for these opportunities, and then when they present themselves and I have something to offer, I'm like, yeah, like I'm in it. And then in having those experiences, I've learned uh, from my disposition, like I benefit from that, just making that contribution and seeing it go out into the world and do something good for someone, right? Then there's other groups of people who are, optimistic. There's pessimistic people. A lot of it has to do with like people's past experiences and how they've responded to them. So like we've all had negative experience. Some kind, someone said we all have a sad story like that we could just go in on, but like it's how you respond to that. So some people like it was a heavy weight for them, so they didn't respond very well. So then they have maybe more of a pessimistic view of like, yeah, like it's not going to work out, whatever the thing is that someone's presenting that they think is a more positive thing. And it's just a reality. Like I've come to have a lot of acceptance the different modes people are in, and that's cool. But what Proppz is trying to do is it's trying to get more people involved. So like, all right, some people are more pessimistic. Some people, another group is like people are just busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this could contribute, but like I have two kids. I got two jobs. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like for an individual, whatever the thing is. Or some people are suffering from like too much stress, mental health issues that we don't see counselors and therapists enough. You know what I'm saying? So like everyone has their own thing that they're being bombarded with, and it's directly in front of them. So some people don't even have the capacity to like
Mhm.
make or something. So there's all these different kind of ranges of people, and like my thing is like, all right, well, in building momentum, maybe we can start with the people that are like, yeah, this is a thing I do. Oh, they're doing it over here. All right, I'm there. And then the other part is like making it easier or making it more a part of the social culture for other people who are just busy doing other things because there's a priority. It doesn't matter if it's like I got to take care of a child or I just like playing basketball all day. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has their priorities, and to me, like there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like if you make it more a part of the social culture and it's a regular thing that more people do, then you take care of some of those people. Then there's other people. It's like, I need money. Like I have other priorities. This is not a good experience. Like there's other things where you can incentivize like maybe a group of people over here to like, all right, I'm not feeling good, but there's some incentives over here for me, and that might make me feel a little better. So I'll go over there and join it too. So it's like how do you Proppz is kind of answering the question, how do you appeal to all of these different groups of people and different types of people who have different motivations. So I mean, I think it's just that, and then the other thing is acceptance because you know I think sometimes what we try to do is like, all right, if I'm one of those people that are just like, I'm in there, you know what I'm saying? I like community, I like helping people. There's an opportunity and I have like the bandwidth to do it, then I'm there. Um, and then thinking that everyone thinks like me, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you might set up a solution where it's just like, all right, we're gonna set up a solution and everyone's gonna jump on it because that's what I do and that's the thing that I'm interested in. And it's just like I think that's where we're at in a lot of different instances, and it's just not enough. It's not considering other people and their dispositions or their issues or their other motivations that they have. So that's what I think. I think it's just really understanding or trying to understand as much as possible other people and how they have experiences, and then finding um, something that the majority of these people would consider a good experience and how to get everyone involved. Like So that's what I'm working on.
That's brilliant. Um, that's brilliant, and especially so it's solving an accessibility issue. Like you said, there's already people who are like you who are gung ho on, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go to the next thing. I'm gonna like clear my whole schedule and go to this organization and this organization. Just gonna like hop from organization to organization. Yeah, fuck yeah. And then there's people who may feel that way, or may feel like they want to be able to do something, but like you said, they don't have the time. They don't have they're worried about survival, their basic survival. How can I even talk about extended humanity at this point? And then the people who it sounds like they may not even really give a fuck about the community, but they like money or they like something that you can kind of pull on to still draw them to props to this and create that. Maybe their motivations might not necessarily be that great, but they do enjoy the experience that you're providing them, and they get there because they get their incentive. And I think
Right.
that that's amazing, especially when you talked about creating, making it normal in society, creating a culture around it, because I think that would also bring in some people that, we might not necessarily have just on the merit of this is just a good thing to do, but someone who wants to be a part of the in group, who wants to be a part of maybe a family, who wants to be a part of something that's popular, and just creating a culture where this is what everybody's doing, and this is a cool thing to do, that would also draw people in. And maybe not just a cool thing to do, but just this is the norm. This is just how we operate. And making it feel like it's just who you are, who the society is. That's awesome. And I think that's the way to do it. I mean that's the ultimate goal, right? Is for it to feel normal in society.
And the other thing is like there's kind of a gamification on it because if you think about it's a I call it's called a I refer to it as a social enterprise network. You know, there are social networks out there, but what they do or what they really uh, have a strong foundation on is recognition, and people like that.
Mm.
So there's some kind of gamification and recognition where like people like do it for the gram or like people are trying to get more followers or more views for whatever.
Influencers.
Exactly. And there's a whole like there's different categories of like how you can build that like the social capital or that momentum. You can do comedy or you could talk about like fuck society or something, or you can like do something positive or there's different categories, but it's just like, all right, so if the main topic was promoting positive people and everyone was on this platform, right? For different reasons. Some people they just want to help. Some people, this way makes it easier. Some people this is part of the culture. Some people like this is an incentive. Then okay, so everyone's here. So now you have like those influencers here. You have people that like recognition. So now everyone's gonna like do it for props. You know what I'm saying? Like because I want to get props. So it's like how much more is that gonna help community development and like people like more people getting involved just because some people do it just to get recognition on a like a current social network, and then they'll do beauty, you know what I'm saying, and they get a lot of recognition for that. But like, what if the main topic was promoting positive people and community development, and how many people like what would that do if people were competing for that, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, that recognition? And that would be like and every time I talk to people, it's like this is gonna this is gonna change the American landscape, like because you get like you were saying about the what is it 3.5%.
Yes.
Yeah, so like 3.5% to like start a revolution or make change, like it just takes that much, and people have done research on that. But like, what if we went from like 3.5% or something to like 7%? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what if we doubled it? You know what I'm saying? Like, So with props, like, and that being promoting positive people being like the main subject, it's going to change like the landscape, and it's just going to become a normal thing to like help people however you help people, because everyone has it. Like, there's, to me, what I learned is like there's no wrong answer, so everyone has their lane. Like, I know a friend that like she talks to homeless people like every day, you know. And I've noticed in my own experience, like, and homeless people talk to themselves because no one talks to them,
Mm,
and they still want to be social. So they just have a conversation with herself. So like she's doing her part because she talks to homeless people every day, like, hey, how you doing, Stan, or whatever whatever his name is when she sees him in passing. And at least they have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I don't talk to homeless people. That's not my lane. Like, like sometimes, like, I might give money or something, but most of the time I just keep walking. I work on youth development, you know what I'm saying? So like I'll talk to kids, like I'll help kids, I do all that work, but like this is not my lane. So like this is her lane. So like she's gonna get in her lane and do things. More people are gonna do that, and then other people are gonna get in this lane. And it's like everyone just find your fit, like whatever it is, and then get acknowledged for that, and then build more capacity in those areas. You don't have to have like one thing. Like as long as you're doing something positive, then we're here to promote it. So yeah.
yes, the everyone has their own lane. Like you are speaking my language like so hard right now because I'm with you 100%. Everybody has their purpose, everybody has their talent. Like that's why it's so important for us to be able to organize collectively with one another because we all have our different ideas and all our different ideas together is how we come up with the best solutions. The us what is our body? Our body is a bunch of like what trillions of cells and things working really autonomously, but together they are creating me, you, and it's a similar idea. They all have their own lane, we all, and I love that. I love that props does sound like it's the concept of pretty much using what we use to organize anyway today, social media, you know, and using that, the entertainment value of it, the recognition value of it, all those things that make us addicted to, like we're addicted to social media. Um, take that platform and use it to organize people in the way that we would like our society to be. Is like duh. I mean, social media is like Facebook is a country, basically. Like these are
Yeah,
nations.
true. That's so true.
So that is brilliant, and I love this idea so freaking much. Like, thank you for playing your lane so well right now, because this is, yeah, cool. So I guess props. So I remember you talked to me about, when people like something, it seems pretty, it can mean anything. It's almost meaningless when people like something, but this idea of giving someone props, just kind of gives it this extra, I don't know, I guess can you elaborate on moving from just this, okay, I like this, or I love this, or ha that, to like props. Like, why is it so important that, you give someone props? And are you able to give
So
people likes and other reactions? And
yeah, there are actually other reactions in the design. I'll talk about that in a second, but just to get back on the general interactions on other social networks, like maybe a like or a heart. The way they're modeled now is it doesn't have a particular subject. And this is interesting because I'm a children's librarian, and I organize things by, like, fiction, nonfiction. And I realized, like, some years ago, there's like just like another category of like perspective. You know what I'm saying? Where like you take some factual information and then you interpret it, but there's no category for that. Like, so that's an issue. But like that being an issue in librarianship, like if you look at like social networks, the issue and the experience that people are having sometimes is negative because there's no categories, like there's no subject category to organize this information. So it's just based on like one category, which is one main category, which is like I interacted with this thing, right?
Mm.
So what people have in their experience a lot of times is like you'll see a negative post, right? So a lot of people will respond to it because there's a saying that bad news travels fast. So people will be like, "Oh, I don't like this," and there'll be a lot of comments, and then there'll be back and forth because it'll become an argument or something, and then they'll share it, and then people are like notorious for sharing things that they really don't like,
Mhm.
and then so it picks up more momentum, and then by the end of like all of these interactions, at the top of your results now is all this negative content because people responded to it and they reacted to it, but there was only a general way of responding and reacting to something, so you get all this negative content that floats to the top of your search results or your news feed, and then the controversy that happened, like the president and like some of these like hate groups were organized on other social media channels and things like that. It just people are having like a negative experience because there's no main subject,
Mhm. There's no
um
focus.
yes, there's no focus. So what Props does is it creates a focus. Like everyone wants to have a good experience. Oh, there's another example is black people. And my personal experience. I don't know if you can like confirm this, but like all of the I feel like on my social network channels, I follow a lot of positive people. I'm very selective, but still I always see like black bodies dying, like
Mm.
all all of these like hate crimes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't see this content all the time, So like I think a lot of black people have that experience where, they go on their social networks and they're just forced to like watch a video of another black person dying. It keeps happening, like and then it gets shared and people comment on it. So it rises to the top and it's just like it becomes like a bad experience on something that you do constantly. But the way props is set up is the P in the middle of the button, which replaces the like or the heart. It's the P means promoting positive people. So the other interaction buttons are the left button to the left of it, right button to the right of it. Those can be interpreted as whatever you want. Um, I kind of don't. I have an idea of how I interpret them, but whatever. So it's just a way to respond to something without saying, with only by having more than one option. Because if you just have one option, then it's not the same experience that you're used to, right? So you have a left and a right. If you're left-handed, maybe you might click the left, or if you're right-handed, you might click the right, or you might have in your head. To me, I'm saying I left a conversation, so
So
this is
they're
something that I don't.
intentionally kind of generic and sort of like not meaningless in a
Exactly,
way.
because that's what people are used to. Like they that's what the because the like doesn't really have. It says like, but there's still negative content that has a lot of likes
True.
and a lot of interaction. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, it's not the same as specifically saying this is positive content. So that's the product differentiation of props. It's the P in the middle, and then you still have those clickable interaction buttons, and you still can make comments. So even the experience is still going to be the same, even if there's still going to be negative content that surfaces, right?
Right.
You can comment on it, you can still feel a way about it, but the priority as far as finding searches on the platform is based on props. It's based on the P. So even with all of the interactions that people will have to like some negative content that they didn't like, and they had something to say, and they got in an argument, still at the end of the day, when you like refresh your news feed and everything, the priority of things that are gonna come to the top are the people that you interact with the most and positive posts. So those two things. So you're still gonna have like it's not just gonna be all positive posts because you still want to see the people that you interact with, you know. So it's gonna be that, and second to that is positive posts. So it's gonna have a better experience for everyone just because of the specific category. The main theme of the platform is promoting positive people.
That's cool. So you're allowing people to pretty much interact, like you said, the way they're used to on these social media sites. But, props literally prioritizes. It has a focus, like you were saying before. The focus is always going to be this. So you're always going to get the content that is promoting the collective spirit, while at the same time you're still able to, interact. You're not banning anything, basically. You're allowing, the information to flow, whatever information you want to give, but anything that is, the foundation of what props is about, that's what's going to be highlighted, no matter how people interact, basically. I dig it. I dig it. This is so the f- like this is everything that's needed for, you know, really really promoting collectivity, or a collective consciousness and collective action, because I believe that people want to help other people. I believe that the majority of us, like you, get energized when we help other people. Um, and but like you were saying before, the accessibility, it's very difficult for people to, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me how hard it is to help people, but people want to help people. Like,
Yeah, I think this reminds me of my evolution in understanding food and like my diet. You know, it's like people have a certain experience that they've always experienced. And if you haven't experienced anything outside of that, then you don't know anything else. This is just your reality, you know? So like maybe some people so like the analogy is like if you look at food. So my evolution in food, like I went from meat, then I went to vegetarian. Now I'm like vegan, vegetarian, like somewhere in the middle there. And then like when I myself personally moved away from meat, and my homegirl like some years ago was just telling me like, yeah, it's heavy, blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, whatever. Chicken is great, you know what I'm saying? Put some barbecue on that thing is hit, right? But then like moving away from it, my body felt lighter, you know? So it worked for me. This is not to promote like vegan, vegetarian. I'm just talking about a process. Like I've always been here with meat, you know, and then I moved away from it and I felt different. And I liked the difference that I felt. So I stayed there. And then I kept evolving, you know? So like in terms of like helping people, I think it's the same way. I think it's like people don't realize how it benefits your own health by helping someone else. And in addition to that, like there's like levels to it because you can help someone else and then like expect something. That's one level. A higher level, in my opinion, is like helping someone else and just not expecting anything from them, just doing it to help, you know? There's a like as far as my experience, like my overall life experience, I've had a good life, and this is the way I've practiced living, like trying to help people and like getting high off of that, and that's given me like a really good experience, you know. It's made me feel lighter, like kind of like the food analogy, but like I think for different people, they don't know something that they haven't experienced. Props gives them the chance to experience maybe helping some people if you're not used to that, or like participating in something, or this becoming a whole like social cultural like movement, you know. And I think people are gonna really like take to it. It's gonna take off. It's gonna become the number one social platform like
I hope
anywhere.
so.
Yeah.
I
Like,
really hope so.
yeah. And then it's just gonna be like part of the culture. Like, we do social things now, all of them are not about like helping people, but there's plenty of opportunities to like just do social things and include some of that, and then still have a really really good social experience, like interacting with friends and stuff. Like, just imagine, like, all right, I'm on props now, find an opportunity, and like with my network, like people see that I'm going to this event, to like to promote some social cause, to participate, to volunteer. And then, my homeboy or homegirl, like, they like, oh, LC going, I'm gonna go to, you know what I'm saying? And then we get there, and then we already abide by our, like, we already like click, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we bring that energy to that thing which the event has identified as a problem in the community. We bring that energy and then help. So there are, I didn't talk about this, but there are, for props, there's three customer segments. There's the social networkers, which we've been talking about their experience. There's nonprofits, and then there's for-profit businesses. And it takes all three of them to make the whole system work. So we've been talking a lot about the social networkers and their bad experiences that they've been having on other platforms, maybe, or some negative experiences, and how to improve that. The other two segments are nonprofits, which through in every community have identified something in that community that needs fixing. There's, or that needs to be addressed, is a problem that needs a solution. So, I did a lot of research, speaking to different nonprofits a couple of years ago, interviewing them, talking about their pain points, and a lot of it is around volunteering and not getting enough support in human capital.
Mm.
So what Props does is it puts the nonprofits on this platform so that they can set up events there with, the energy of the people who are already interested in promoting positivity and helping out and doing community development work. And then it's on a social platform. So their issues were um, engagement, retention, and recruitment of volunteers. So putting them on a social enterprise platform like gives them that opportunity to do all of those things, and like build more momentum, more human capital for those initiatives to address like issues in communities all over the country. And then the other customer segment are the businesses, for-profit businesses. They're also on the platform, and they help to incentivize some of the, there are people that are like gung ho and really interested in community development. There are other people that are just on the platform to be social. This is the new thing. We on here, and having partnerships with them, because they benefit by, there's like naming rights and everything for awards that we give out on the platform. But that helps them with their brand identity with the community and
Mm.
connecting with the community. So building a positive relationship. Um, so, the partnerships that we make with them helps them with that, while, the monies that are built from that helps to, part of those monies, part of those monies go for profit, and then the other, some of that profit goes back into the system where we incentivize more people to contribute. So then there's the proper reward, where we give out $500 to just different people that accumulate enough props, and then
Mm.
it's monthly, where like people are just getting rewards, and the more people on the site, the more awards that are given out. And it's just like, now you have these three customer segments, which by themselves they were doing things, and it was a vibe. It was something that was working. But on props, if everyone comes together, there's more opportunities for everyone
Mm.
in their specific area of concentration. Like, businesses want to they're all about their bottom dollar and making a profit. So, there's there's a discount store set up on props, where, incentivizing people that promote positivity and get props from people in their network. They can go to the discount store and get like 10% off of these products and services with contracts that we do with businesses.
Mm.
So each customer segment has an opportunity to enhance or benefit from being a part of promoting positive people in different ways that they are particularly interested in.
Yes, and I see potential for this being amazing for small businesses. Yeah, like, because I know, like, a lot of small business people myself. I'm sure that you do. Like, they're everywhere, but it's so difficult in the saturation of marketing and everything, trying to get ahead. And this sounds like an awesome opportunity for because they're a part of the community, small
Mhm.
businesses.
Exactly. Exactly.
So they fit right into this whole we're trying to build community, work collectively. That's beautiful. The small producers, gung ho.
Yeah.
So,
So
mhm,
I wanted to say a little bit more on that because on the site specifically in the discount store, there are different categories. So like there's like a feature category for like big contracts, but there's also a local category for businesses where you can find like local businesses, and then you can search specific products and find something in your area that's a local business, so you can get a discount from them and they can get more customers. So like
mhm.
it's for everyone, but it there's a specific category to promote local businesses, and then that's also something that helps with community development. Is the local businesses are supported, economics are good in the community, maybe they'll choose to give back. I mean, being a part of the platform is already a way to give back because the partnership and that money that goes towards it goes back into the system to kind of incentivize other people to continue to contribute. But it's yeah, local businesses are definitely a part of the design.
Hell yes. I'm super excited. I'm genuinely super excited about this concept because like this is. I mean, as you can tell from the title of my podcast, like this is what I'm trying to pick people's brains about because again going back to the importance of the collective is we all know that there's an issue with our societies with the world I don't know the answers. I don't know all the answers. You don't know all of the answers. Like, but together we know the answers.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to figure out how to collect people to really just be on board with okay, let's together seriously think about what we can do to kind of change our situation and props really sounds like it's almost like a duh idea. Like take what we're already drawn to, you know,
Right, right, yeah.
and
I was,
flip
and
it.
then yeah, because I just finished a grant application. So shout out to Drew and Lauren Holiday. They did a social impact grant for Black businesses, for profit and nonprofit. So I just applied to that, but I was saying something to that fact, and I got off track. I just forgot what I was saying.
Damn, it's okay.
Yeah, what was the last thing you just said?
Last thing I was saying was I don't know all the answers. Collectively we know the answers. Use what people are already drawn to um, in order to gather people to really think about how we can change our situation. We're,
Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so what part of that application? It was just saying like this is like when people see it. I was saying when people see it, it's and people realize what it does. It's gonna be like a duh or aha moment, but it's just like I think sometimes the way that different businesses are set up, uh, maybe they think about there's a lot of concentration in American capitalism on the bottom line, which is like making the most profit, And then the way that I operate, set up the business model is like that's making profit is still important. But I think some of the companies like they make profit by trying to like take so much from the organization or the people involved in the organization, and it's just like there's a lot of different examples. I'm not going to drop names, but I have some opinions, but there's a lot of different examples of like, organization that'll like uh collect insurance off of like employees and not give them whatever, an employee dies and then they
Yep.
don't get, the family doesn't get it, like they just keep the money, or like paying them the minimum wage just so you can keep all of the extra profit,
Or
like
outsourcing so they can pay even less than American minimum
exactly. And
wage.
then
So,
and then technology is also another one where it's like I was just talking to my best friend yesterday. He's talking about he's an engineer. His company is like working on bringing in bots to replace the work that they're doing, and he was just talking about like he did something like his team did something really significant to save the company money, like a lot of money, like recently, like the last couple of months. But it's just sad because like at the end of the day, all right, you guys saved us a lot of money. Now we're gonna replace you with like these bots because now we have money to invest in them to like get rid of you
mm,
and save even more money. Like it's just like that's a model that I see a lot in businesses and for profit. And then my idea or my model is based on investing in people more. Like if you invest in people more, they'll have a better experience. The quality of your service, your product will be 10 times better, like you'll have retention, you know what I'm saying? Like people, you'll be able to retain the best talent. If your experience and like what people benefit from them, including like pay, time off, like just a welcoming environment, like all of these things are included, then people like the best people in the industry will be like banging on your door trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? So like it improves your business model in all these ways, and having that high quality product service just makes more people supportive of the business, more people purchasing the business and all that. So it increases um it increases the profit margins, just a different way to do it than like taking away from these people, and then trying to increase the profit margins this way because now we don't have to pay as much. But like if you invest in them more, you'll have a higher quality experience for whoever your customers are, and then that's the way like I operate. Like I try and like give more to people to have a better experience for myself, for them, and then it's just a better experience all around. So I think it's a better business model. I just don't think it's practiced enough, and I think this is going to set like a standard nationally and internationally as far as like that being a model, and then take off.
yeah, this is like the Tai Chi of apps. And I'm thinking about it as taking energy that's there and just kind of redirecting it in a way that benefits humanity. And um, I love it. I really, really love it. I said I have a hard stop at 1, but I think I would like to end it a little early so I can prepare for another meeting. But before I do that, once again, thank you for developing this. Thank you for, doing this interview with me. And, is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with? Like, what are your last words that you would like people to hear?
Um, I used to say give more love. I think what I've learned is like doing helping like taking care of yourself first. That's important. So take care of yourself so that you can have the capacity to like be able to help someone else with something, so like personal self-care is really important. I suggest, and I just started seeing a counselor, so if you don't have one, I think it's a healthy thing to do for anyone. You don't have to be like really sick to start, it's just, but self-care is really important. And then after that, doing something to help someone else is gonna give you a good experience in life, I think. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. This was so cool. Like your idea is genuinely so freaking cool and just excited and energized by all the things you've been saying because you're really speaking my language like 100%. There's not even really much for me to say. I'll just be repeating everything you said basically. So I would actually love to have you on again to just talk about the world because I got glimpses of based on what you've been saying. I have like a feeling like you said you had a lot of opinions about stuff earlier. So and I it started to come out a little bit. So I kind of want to pick your brain some more. Um, uh, but yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. LC, thank you.